Namaskar. Almost all of us are children, school going children. Or, in my case, I may have grandchildren. One of the major complaints of all parents and grandparents, including sometimes the school teachers themselves, is that they carry a huge load 7 kgs, 8 kgs on an average. I have seen 4-year-old, 5-year-old kids carrying 5 kg weights. Hunchback, they become Hunchback of Notre Dame, the famous film and the story. They become like that, Hunchback of Notre Dame. Are we training our children and our grandchildren to become coolies? To become load carriers? Are they supposed to carry 1 quintal of gunny bags? Are we training them for that? Or does education mean that you have to carry loads, otherwise you will not get enough education? Or the quality of education depends on how much of load you carry? Absolute nonsense it is. What is the reason for this load? Reason for this load is you have about 6 to 7, probably even 8 classes in a day. 8 different subjects, 8 different textbooks, 8 different notebooks, 8 different homework exercise books, geometry box, color pencils, color box, pencil box, and maybe even a calculator nowadays. All this is being carried. Then they also carry a water bottle. 1 liter water bottle weighs 1 kg. And maybe a tiffin box which will weigh again maybe 0.5 to 0.75 kgs. So all this puts on the weight and the children become Hunchbacks of Notre Dame. Now, is this a must? Is there any way we can reduce this weight? Is there any way we can reduce the weight to 1 kg? Looks impossible, right? From 8 kgs, 10 kgs to 1 kg? How can it be? I am talking only about textbooks. Leave the water bottle and the lunch. That is the personal preferences. We are talking about what is mandatory. What is mandatory for the school? Bring all your textbooks. Bring all your notebooks to do exercises in the class. You have a separate notebook for homework. So bring that as well. Because we have to check what homework you have done yesterday. And homeworks are given for every subject that is dealt with during the day. So invariably, if you got 8 classes, you have nearly 24 books. And paper has a lot of weight. And therefore the weight goes up from 7 to 10 kgs. Depending on what kind of notebook. Long size, short size, 100 pages, 200 pages. Depends on all that. So is there a way? So recently I saw a release of instructions from the Department of Public Instruction telling that a lot of suggestions that come, we had analyzed that and we have come to a conclusion that the weight of the bag should not exceed 10% of the body weight of the child. So should I carry a weighing machine along with me? Or should the school provide a weighing machine at the entrance? See what is the weight of the person, then what is the weight of the bag? For the violation, is there any punishment? No. How impractical this suggestion is. The same class we find somebody, maybe see, if I am talking about children who are 5th standard, 6th standard, 7th standard, their average weight may be around 35 kgs. There may be somebody who is 50 kgs, somebody who is 28 kgs. So the weight differs from person to person. So how many books should he carry? Is he allowed not to carry some books because he is of low weight? How do you monitor this? It's an impractical suggestion, impractical instruction, which the schools may find it difficult. And if there is a penal class in this on the school, it's very unreasonable and illogical. So I thought about this problem. I went back to my school days, 1965 to 1970. If we talk only about school, I don't know if you're going to be surprised. I used to just carry 2 books, 1 geometry box, 1 lunch bag. That's it. And these books and geometry box, which also part performed as my pencil box, used to be tied up with an elastic band, book band. We used to call it book band. And there was a normal steel hook which catches like this. That is all. I used to travel by bus, public transport. Sometimes I used to run to catch the bus. In that 6 years, not a single day has any book fallen or has the electric band elastic band failed me in its performance. So what was possible in 65 to 70 is not possible today. Why? I might have scored very high marks in my exams. I didn't carry textbooks to the class. I didn't have one notebook for each subject. I didn't have one notebook for homework for all the subjects. I used to have a common book and common homework notebook also. So why, as we go by, as technology improves, as the facilities increase, why is that we are increasing the load? Is it a status symbol? In this school, you have to carry 10 kgs. In another school, you have to carry only 7 kgs. Oh no, that school is of no use. Schools, the textbooks and baggage load is very less. Is it that? Or do we feel proud that our children are carrying a huge load? Look at my child. Oh my God, he's carrying so much. Why don't we think, why should they carry that? Why can't they be free of this load? So I suggest have 2 notebooks of 200 pages each. That is not required. 1 is enough. Let us say you need 2. Okay. Among those, you can allocate number of pages for each subject. You can put the date and write it down. You need to carry a pencil box if at all it is necessary, or a geometry box. Geometry box may not be necessary all the days except when you deal with mathematics or maybe science. Other days you don't need that, only pencil box is enough. So 2 notebooks, no textbooks. You can use a book bag which is available in any store. So your weight comes down to half a kg. Of course, you have your water bottle. The school is able to provide good quality drinking water. Even that water bottle is not required. Tiffin box, of course, is a must. So that becomes maybe another half a kg. Even if you take it as 1 kg, the maximum weight it will carry is only 2 kgs. This I am telling even for SSLC students, even for 10th standard. The teacher can teach using the textbook. Write on the board as to what is the chapter she is discussing and what are the page numbers. Students can note it down, go home and study. And whatever notes they are giving, they can take it in the notebook. Pages earmarked for it. If that is over, they can have another notebook. Leave this completed book at home. So 1 book at a time. The homework can always be done in 1 single book. First of all, the homework should be reduced. They should try to do it in school and then allow the children to study at home. I do 8 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours I am in school. Come back, again I have to do homework. Then where is the time for me to study? And most of the schools have working day on Saturdays as well. So when do I study? When do I behave like a child, playing and enjoying myself? Because Sunday, parents don't allow that. Have you finished your homework? Have you finished your homework? It's a big problem for parents as well as for the children. There is no childhood today. You don't have playgrounds to play. Schools don't have playgrounds. The moment you open the gate of the school, right bang on the road. That is the way it is. So one possible way is reduce the number of notebooks, no textbooks, and 1 or 2 notebooks are enough. That 2 small size books, not long size, not full scape size. You can have 2 small size books, 200 pages each, or 100 pages, 4 books, or say 40 to 50 pages, 6 or 7 books. Enough. If at all you want to have one, you are so particular that you want to have 1 notebook per each subject, you can do it. This is one suggestion. Now another suggestion I am going to give you. Remove all these notebooks. Let them carry A4 sheets. Let them carry about 20-25 A4 sheets per day. Whatever notes is given, they can write subject wise, date wise, they can write it up and file it at home. Have 7 or 8 files. Homework can be submitted on A4 sheets. Then they will file it after the valuation is done. So literally 25 sheets of paper will weigh just about 100-150 grams. 1 geometry box, 1 pencil box, finished. It will be less than 1 kg. If we have a will to really reduce the burden of the children, I don't see why these 2 suggestions cannot be at least experimented for 1 term. If I have a textbook, the teacher is going to read it out the class, then I am going to follow the textbook, then why should I have a teacher? I can read it at home. I should listen to the teacher. I can listen only when I am not doing anything else. So I should not be noting down if the teacher is teaching me. So this helps. This helps in a better learning because you're not going to watch the textbook when she is teaching you. You're not going to follow the textbook. Not required. So it is possible that we can do it. Merely sheets of paper, which I did when I went to college. I used to just carry a few sheets of paper. No textbook, no notebook. So I used to neatly file it up. Whatever classes have been done, date wise I used to file it up. For each subject I used to have a different file. This can be done, and children will learn how to maintain documentation. Children will learn how not to waste paper. And I am sure per year all you need is 270 rupees worth one ream of 500 sheets of A4 sheets. That's it. Whereas notebooks are costly. Notebooks are today costing 50-60 rupees per book. So how many books should I buy? So money is saved. Trees are saved because using less paper, less notebooks. And A4 sheets are plentifully available in any store, stationery stores. So no difficulty in obtaining them. Maintenance is easy. Okay, and the load is absolutely reduced. I don't see why we can't do this. I think we should put all our heads together, try this couple of suggestions for a semester, then find out how it works, how it does not work, why it does not work. I suppose some schools will probably try this out if I'm able to reach out to them. So I have in fact sent a detailed mail to Chief Minister Kumaraswamy and the Director of Public Instruction, the Chief Secretary, the Secretary for Primary Education, the Minister for Primary Education, and to the Association of Schools. Ask them to seriously consider because they're about to start the academic year. Thank you. Namaskar.